Kelly Ripa has always been the queen of quick wit, unfiltered commentary, and just the right amount of chaos when the cameras are rolling. But during a recent chat on Live with Kelly and Mark, the 53-year-old talk show host left her audience gasping, giggling, and possibly Googling funeral home options when she revealed the very specific qualities she's looking for in her next husband. Her requirements? He's mostly dead and suffering from severe ED. A joke. Or a warning. The line, tossed out with Ripa's signature smirk, immediately lit up social media. Some fans thought it was just another cheeky Kelly one-liner, like when she declared she's married to Mark Consuelos for the protein, not the personality. Others wondered if her husband should be side-eyeing her smoothie ingredients for suspiciously high levels of arsenic. But according to Ripa, this was no slip of the tongue. With a glass of champagne in hand and Mark laughing nervously beside her, Kelly doubled down. Look, after being married to Mark for nearly 3 decades, I know what I want in my next husband. Ideally, he's already halfway to the grave, and his equipment isn't going to cause me any more drama. I'm not starting over with an enthusiastic man in his 40s. Forget it. Give me a corpse with a pension. Cue the audience erupting into equal parts horror and applause. Marriage, the Ripa way. Kelly has often said that marriage is both an art and a sport. With her and Mark's 3 kids grown, she's entered what she calls her semi-retirement era of romance. She clarified that she doesn't want to be single, but she also doesn't want to deal with a partner who's high maintenance. I want a husband who naps more than I do, she continued. Someone who isn't going to drag me to parties or, worse, suggest we start salsa dancing lessons together. That ship has sailed. If his idea of a hot date is me adjusting his oxygen tank while we watch Jeopardy, that's romance to me. Mark, of course, couldn't resist responding. So you're basically auditioning hospice patients? Without missing a beat, Kelly shot back. If the slipper fits, and by slipper I mean compression sock, then yes. Why severe ED is a selling point. The ED comment, which could have sent most TV hosts into a PR nightmare, was classic Ripa. Brutally honest, fearless, and hilarious. She explained her reasoning with an almost alarming level of pragmatism. Listen, ED means no unexpected responsibilities in the romance department. We can focus on other things like streaming old movies, debating which of our kids forgets to call us back, and maybe reorganizing the spice cabinet alphabetically. That's my love language now. Her co-host and husband Mark could only put his head in his hands, muttering, I can't believe this is my life. But the audience loved it. Within minutes, Twitter was filled with hashtags like #MostlyDeadHusband and #teamed. Some fans even started nominating candidates, mostly celebrities in their 80s and 90s. One particularly enthusiastic fan tweeted, Betty White would have set her up. R.I.P. Queen. The Consuelos reaction. Mark Consuelos, bless his patient heart, knows by now that living with Kelly means bracing himself for these kinds of bombshells. He's long been the butt of her jokes, whether about his height, his passion for protein shakes, or his relentless fitness regimen. But this time, even Mark seemed momentarily rattled. I don't know if I should be offended or relieved, he joked. On one hand, she wants me gone. On the other, she doesn't want to upgrade. That's sweet? Maybe. Kelly reassured him, sort of. Don't worry, honey. You're still my main man. But you know me, I plan ahead. Call it marital insurance. The way she delivered it, with a wink and a perfectly timed sip of her coffee, felt less like a marital threat and more like peak sitcom material. Fans weigh in. The internet never misses a chance to spin Kelly's jokes into think pieces. Within 24 hours, gossip blogs and lifestyle magazines had headlines ranging from Kelly Ripa breaks the internet with morbid husband wish list to should you date a man who's mostly dead? Experts weigh in. Some viewers applauded her honesty.
She's right.
After 30 years of marriage, who wants to start fresh with a fully alive man? Exhausting. Kelly Ripa just invented senior dating goals. Mostly dead with ED sounds like the dream package deal. Where do I sign up? Others weren't so sure. This is either the funniest thing she's ever said or a subtle cry for help. Mark better sleep with one eye open. Beyond the punchline, what Kelly's really saying. While the line itself was outrageous, there's a deeper truth in Kelly's humor. She's spent decades juggling motherhood, a demanding career, and her marriage, all while in the public eye. Now, as her kids grow up and her relationship with Mark enters its next phase, she's using comedy to process what comes next. Kelly has always embraced radical honesty, often saying out loud what other women only whisper to their friends over wine. Her joke about wanting a husband who's mostly dead reflects the fatigue many women feel at the idea of starting over romantically in middle age. It's less about morbidity and more about longing for peace, predictability, and comfort. And as for the ED remark, well, that's pure Kelly, a fearless reminder that intimacy, humor, and connection take many forms, and sometimes the greatest turn-on is simply being left alone. The legacy of Kelly's next husband. Of course, Mark isn't going anywhere. He made that very clear when he dramatically clutched her hand on camera and declared, "You're stuck with me, Ripa, forever." But hypothetically, Kelly's next husband has now become something of a folk character, a mysterious, frail, charmingly incapable man who exists mostly in hospice daydreams. Rumor has it someone's already drafting a Hallmark Christmas movie script titled, "Mostly Dead for the Holidays, a Kelly Ripa love story." If so, you can bet Kelly will cameo, probably as herself, delivering the eulogy at the wedding/funeral. Closing punchline. In the end, Kelly Ripa's outrageous declaration was less about replacing Mark and more about reminding everyone why she's so beloved. She says the things most people would never dare, makes her husband the straight man in her comedy, and keeps the audience laughing while winking at the truth beneath the humor. "So yes," she concluded during the broadcast, "when the time comes, my next husband will be mostly dead. But until then, Mark, congratulations. You're the last fully alive man I'll ever tolerate." And with that, she threw her head back, laughed, and left everyone wondering, is Kelly Ripa joking, or is this the most honest marriage advice we've ever heard?